you care about our children and you care about our staff. You put your words into action. All these communities that say they value education, you value education. You don't just say it. Tonight's about appreciation. It's about being grateful, recognizing and naming those who contributed beyond what is ever expected. The 2019 Walled Lake Schools PTSA Council and each of our school PTSAs is to be commended and thanked. You really want the best for our students. You'll settle for no less, and we love that about you.
Our job is to educate the whole child and to help each one to become giving and caring members of our community, and I think we are doing that. And I don't know about you, but I am absolutely amazed at the outpouring of community support and the things that our students lead and that I know PTA and PTSA has a hand in, whether it's food drives for Hospitality House, You Matter Week to bring about awareness for mental health, social justice groups to promote diversity and inclusion. I could go on for a while, but I think you understand all the things because you're in the middle of it and you're helping.
Well, thank you so much. As introduced, I am Michelle Bianca with the Foundation for Excellence Walled Lake Schools, and it truly is my privilege to be here on behalf of the foundation because I truly get what it takes with regard to the PTA and PTSAs. My roots and my background is in the Walled Lake School District. I served on many committees and groups through Oakley Park, through Walnut Creek to Walled Lake Central High School. And so I understand the value and the importance of our PTAs. And in fact, this evening I was speaking to Troy, who is part of Walled Lake Central's high school PTA. And we were talking about what it takes. And he started saying, well, you know, we just do a little bit. And I'm like, well, I think it's more than just a little bit. And it's been a few years for me. My kids graduated in 2010 and 2013, but I clearly remember that time spent there. And I said, well, it's probably the mock elections you take care of there. Well, yeah. And I said, well, it's probably registering your 18-year-olds to vote. And he said, yeah. And I said, well, and it's probably the senior picnic too. And he said, well, yeah. And I said, well, and I remember involvement with teacher appreciation. And he said, well, maybe there is kind of a lot. And I said, well, I think there is. So I am here to express tremendous appreciation, not only for all that you do and that I do understand, but also the support that you have all provided the Foundation for Excellence, because we're all doing the same thing. The Foundation for Excellence is a collaborative arm of our district, and we're here to raise funds for K through 12 and to help make a difference. And we channel those funds on an annual basis through our mini grants. And I don't do it alone. We have a volunteer board of trustees, which includes, she's somewhere in the back, Dr. Marcy Augenstein, and Mr. Ken Gutman sits on our board, and Mark Siegler from the school board, and parents and teachers, the teacher at Dublin Elementary, Jen Weckstein. So we are a collaborative group, and we're here to make a difference, but it's a difference that we make because of you. You help the foundation, we all work together. We appreciate the baskets that you have donated for many years, and you're doing it again for our golf scramble, which is coming up on June 24th. Check it out on our website. And so we appreciate that. And yes, my slide is up there, and I wanted to give a shout out for those areas within our school district that we funnel those funds with your support. Literacy, leadership, community diversity, the district programs. Those other areas that include the Schumann Performing Arts grants that are currently underway, and I got that email today saying, so when are they going to be released? It's coming. And the 5th grade camp scholarship, and also the Count on Me program, the Buck of Pay and more, which makes a difference. And we are very proud of the support that we receive from our educators and those direct donations to help the foundation as we work together. So I only wanted to take this quick moment to again take part in this appreciation for the PTA, for all that you do, for all that Jackie does. Thank you for this opportunity to be a voice for our students and to help make a difference. So thank you for wrapping up your year. I wish you all the best as you move into next year, and I'll be here next year with you too. So thank you.
Next, I would love to introduce Ms. Jody Tillender from the Michigan PTA, who will assist us with the installation of our new officers for the next year. Yes, greetings from Michigan PTA. Thank you for inviting us tonight. So happy to be here. I'm always so impressed when I come to Walled Lake because seeing how many people show up and how many people are involved and how many people care and what you do sets a standard in the state that is unrivaled. So congratulations. Jackie gave me a few minutes to talk about why we do PTA, and I think you've pretty much heard everything why we do PTA, because we participate in education and we partner to create environments for students to thrive, and that's what you're doing. I know the tagline is every child, one voice, but you're living it. So I don't know that there's anything I can say to you other than 23 years ago, I started by being voluntold. So, you know, I went to a meeting and somebody said, "We're so happy you're here. Is there something, there's something we'd like your help with?" Does that sound familiar to anybody in the room? Nobody at all? So, yes, I started where you started, and the passion that you guys have for your kids, we all have for our kids. And it is a grassroots effort that we spread throughout the state, not just for our kids, but for every child. I don't want to take too much time, so give me the hook when you want me off. I chose a garden installation, and I always choose a theme because it makes it easier for me. Because I am determined that spring will arrive at some point here. Without, I mean, beyond just the rain, because my backyard is it's a puddle about this deep right now. So in gardening, there are 3 P's that really make a difference: persistence, patience, and pride. Persistence is an absolute must in growing a garden. You have to care for it and guide it to help it flourish. It's the same with PTA. Leaders guide and care for their members, the mission, and persistence brings growth. Patience plays a big part in a healthy garden. We wait for seedlings to grow into strong, robust plants, and we remain steadfast and patient while we create an expanding and forward-moving organization in PTA. And lastly, you take pride in that garden. But we all know that pride and persistence and patience don't do you any good unless you got things to start with. So I would like to start with all of the outgoing officers. Please stand. Yep, give them a hand. You are the foundation in which these gardens will grow. Thank you for your time and your effort. Secretaries, all incoming secretaries, please stand up. Oh, come on. 1, 2, more. There we go. Oh, no. Keep standing. Nope. Stand up. You're the almanac to our garden. You let us know where and when to plant. You let us know how to care for that garden. You may use minutes and bylaws instead of timetables and growth rates, but we rely on your accuracy and attention to detail. So secretaries, do you accept the duties and responsibilities in this role? Sorry. Yes? And will you abide by the mission and purpose of PTA? Yes. Then I do declare you duly installed officers in the Walled Lake PTA Council. Thank you. All incoming treasurers, please stand and don't sit down. Just keep standing. You are the water that makes our plants grow. Sometimes it's a trickle, sometimes it's a flood, but you help a garden prosper. It's important to stay true to your fluidity as your budget changes and grows throughout the year. Do you accept the duties and responsibilities of being a treasurer? Yes. And will you abide by the mission and purposes of PTA? Yes. Then I declare you duly installed officers in the Walled Lake PTA Council. Thank you. All vice presidents. Yay. Ooh, this is fun. There's lots of you. You are the trellis in our garden. You provide the stability we need to make plants strong and for our garden to grow. Whether you're a simple, sturdy trellis or a garden focal point, because sometimes you are, you adapt to support all different kinds of plants. Do you accept the duties and responsibilities of being a vice president in your PTA? And will you abide by the mission and purposes of PTA? Yes. Then I declare you duly installed officers in the Walled Lake PTA Council. Thank you. Presidents, all incoming presidents. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, you have lots. Yay. Presidents, you are the sun. You're the light the plants turn to. You're the consistent source of energy for your garden. And you share that energy with all plants, short, tall, flowery, plain, fast-growing or slow-growing. We appreciate everything you bring. Do you accept the duties and responsibilities of being a president? And are you sure you know what you're saying when you're saying, I've been a president? Yeah, okay, good. Whew, I was worried there for a second. And will you abide by the mission and purpose of PTA? I declare you duly installed officers of the Walled Lake PTA Council. Thank you.
All right, next up on our agenda is we are going to be introducing the first ever recipients of the Shining Star Award. This is from the Special Services Parent Advisory Committee, PAC, and it is used to recognize an outstanding individual who has supported special needs community within the Walled Lake schools. Our first recipient this evening is Julie Nichols. She's a paraeducator. Julie started with WLCSD in 2001 as a substitute teacher and has been a paraeducator for the last 6 years. She's an essential force of strength, encouragement, enthusiasm, and determination for her students. She will go the extra mile to help students with academic content, answering questions, and always has an inspiring word. Julie possesses the belief that the child must first have the confidence to pursue the work in front of them, then the courage to learn the work. So congratulations, Julie. All right, and our next Shining Star Award goes to Dennis Atkinson, who's a volunteer and coach. Dennis has been the head coach for the Walled Lake Special Olympics basketball for the past 5 years. He acts as a role model, mentor, a true gentleman, and he has the patience of an angel. He teaches athletic and teamwork skills, and Dennis is a hero for the Walled Lake Special Olympics community. So congratulations, Dennis. Okay. All right, first we have Denise Kazmarek and Kathy Williams. They're receiving a Michigan Honorary Life Membership Awards. They are the multitasking queens and the heart of Commerce Elementary School. Denise has 23 years of service to WLCSD, 8 of which have been at Commerce, and Kathy has 22 years of service to the district, 16 of which have been at Commerce. Congratulations. Next, we have Shannon Gimple. She is receiving a Merit Award. She's the Hearts to You Chair, the Shamrocks to You Chair, and she's always willing to go the extra mile. So congratulations, Shannon. Next up from Commerce is Tracy Duclos. She is the Commerce Bagel Day Chair, parent volunteer, and always wears a smile on her face. Congratulations. All right, next up we have Dublin Elementary. Our first recipient for Dublin Elementary, is Beth Chapp, who's receiving a Distinguished Service Award. Beth shows her support for her PTA by attending many of the meetings, helps facilitate information to the rest of the teachers at Dublin, and plays an integral part in helping the PTA achieve 100% staff membership each year. First up is the Distinguished Service Award, which will be given to Heather Burrows, the PTA president and parent volunteer. Heather has been on the PTA board for 6 years, serving as president for the last 4. Heather has introduced many amazing projects and clubs at Glengarry, such as Girls on the Run, Stride, Kindness Rocks, Kindness Giving Projects, and Funds to Orgs. She's a tremendous asset to Glengarry. She works tirelessly on every PTA event throughout the school year and can be found in the Glengarry hallways daily. Her biggest endeavor was spearheading the fundraising and construction of the walking track, which raised over $40,000 in just 8 short months, which is pretty remarkable. Congratulations, Heather. Next up from Glengarry, we have Emily Spouts, PTA board member and parent volunteer. She is receiving a Distinguished Service Award as well. She served on the PTA board for the past 4 years. She chairs the fun run and raffle, and she coaches Girls on the Run, volunteers at every PTA event, and is an integral part of the Glengarry PTA. Next up, we have a merit award being awarded to Sarah Jane Reagan. She has a passion for art, and her beautiful bulletin boards express that passion. Sarah's artwork brightens up Glengarry and the faces of their students. Sarah can be found in the school making copies, creating artwork, decorating doors and windows, or lending a helping hand each and every week. Congratulations. Next, we have Amy Fry, PTA recording secretary, parent volunteer, and my neighbor. She's here getting a merit award. Amy chairs events such as Breakfast with a Buddy, Yearbook, Fun Run, and Kindergarten Orientation. She created the Glengarry Literacy Room and PTA website. And Amy can always be found helping out. She's a room mom, copy mom, and motor mom. Congratulations. Okay, we're going to start with Mary Helen Guest Elementary. The first recipient for Mary Helen Guest is Vicki Anderson, PTA board member. She's receiving a merit award. Vicki has meticulously run their treasurer position for many years. I know how that goes, and has helped with many other events, including this year's Spring Carnival. Okay, Vicki's not here. All right, next up for Mary Helen Guest is Beth Polinsky, PTA board member. She's receiving a merit award. Beth runs the Dining to Donate program, chairs the cookie dough sales, and chairs the Staff Appreciation Week. Congratulations. Next up is Monica House, staff member and parent, who is receiving a Distinguished Service Award. She initiated the long process of earning a therapy dog at Guest, which she now hosts in her home, and she works tirelessly with all of her special ed students. She's not here today. Right. All right, Andrea Novak, staff member, Distinguished Service Award. Andrea goes above and beyond with her teaching and artistic talents and brought the DIA to Guest with a DIA away. Nancy Morse, Mrs. Fibke Lang's mom, is receiving a Distinguished Service Award. She is always there when needed for anything, goes above and beyond to help staff, parents, and students at Guest. Congratulations. Okay, Brandy Brenke, the parent and PTA board member, is receiving the Michigan Honorary Life Award. Brandy served on the board in various positions, most recently Health and Wellness Chair. She led the Run Club, chaired the Staff Appreciation, and volunteered at many events. And she also kicked off their first Dream Walking Track fundraiser this year, which was a huge success. Congratulations. All right, next up, we have Hickory Woods Elementary. Kavita Namjoshi is PTA Vice President, Parent, and Committee Chair. Kavita is receiving the Michigan Honorary Life Membership Award. She was the PTA Vice President, co-chairs Knowledge Night, and co-chairs Reflections. Alex Cortez, Parent and Committee Chair, is receiving a Distinguished Service Award as well, chairs the All Pro Dads. He's always willing to support PTA with a team of people ready to work. Next, from Keith Elementary. The first award goes to Lee Shemensky, PTA President. What? Surprise! She has served as PTA Treasurer and President. She's co-chair of the nationally recognized Keith Book Fair. There is nothing Lee won't step up to help out with. She attends almost every event and is always there to help out in any capacity that is needed. And I would also like to say she's taking over my treasurer position on the council next year. So. Next, we have Elizabeth Belcher, Parent Volunteer. She is receiving a Distinguished Service Award. She started the Keith Community Garden in 2013. She helps run the Keith Green Club, and she chaired the Keith Book Fair. Congratulations. All right, next up is Heather Hilligan, PTA Board Member, also receiving a Distinguished Service Award. She has been the VP of Operations for 2 years. She chaired the Keith Fun Run, and she helps at just about every PTA event. Congratulations. Katie Mobley, another PTA board member, also receiving a Distinguished Service Award. She's the PTA Treasurer, co-chair of the Keith Book Fair, and has spent numerous hours helping out with PTA events. Jennifer Ostroff, Parent Volunteer, is receiving a Merit Award. She wrote grants for Michigan Green Schools and has won Evergreen Award for many years. She won numerous Best and Brightest in Wellness Awards for Keith, and she recently wrote a Whole Kids Foundation grant and has won $2,000 from Whole Foods for their community garden. Mary Beth Johnson is another Parent Volunteer, also receiving a Merit Award. Mary Beth chaired the Math Club for the past 2 years, helped numerous hours in their garden and at activities promoting the garden, and volunteers in her kids' classes and at different PTA events. Congratulations. Starting this section off with Loon Lake Elementary. First recipient for Loon Lake is Cheryl Petruno, School Secretary. She's receiving a Distinguished Service Award. She communicates information to parents, donates her time at the school, and is always willing to help. Congratulations. Joanne Roth is the PTA Treasurer. She's receiving a Merit Award. She has spent the last 4 years as Loon Lake's PTA's Treasurer. She's willing to donate her time and is always willing to answer questions. Congratulations. Okay, Becky Markey is a Parent Volunteer. She's receiving a Merit Award. She is the Popcorn Chairperson, the Staff Appreciation Chairperson, and always steps up to volunteer and contribute. Next, we have Meadowbrook Elementary. Sarah Piggott, PTA board member, is receiving the Michigan Honorary Life Membership. Sarah was president for over 5 amazing years and has held other board positions as well. Her vision and efforts have made a lasting impact on Meadowbrook, and they are so grateful for Sarah's guidance as they transition to new leadership in her last year at the school. Next, we have Andrea Sullivan, PTA board member, is receiving a Merit Award. Andrea has done an excellent job managing and boosting their membership this year. She co-chaired their new fun run and did an amazing job, and Andrea supports all of the activities at school along with coordinating various events. Congratulations. Next, we have Megan Wright, PTA board member. Megan is receiving a Merit Award. She has done a wonderful job in her new role as secretary and fundraising co-chair. She did an outstanding job with their Mustang Mile fundraiser and other events throughout the year, and Megan is always lending a helping hand at the many events at their school. Right, next we have Oakley Park Elementary. Nora Eshu, parent volunteer, is receiving a Distinguished Service Award. She split time between being a dedicated OPE staff member and an active parent volunteer, and she's also the Past Reflections Chair. Simone Hawk, another parent volunteer, is receiving the Distinguished Service Award. She's a very active volunteer who is always willing to help where needed. She's volunteered for field trips, family events, and teacher appreciation. She dedicates her time to helping the Media Center with their needs. Congratulations. Kimberly Blaine is another parent volunteer. She's receiving the Distinguished Service Award. She's the former PTA president and is extremely dedicated to the preservation and growth of the OPE Math Club. Pleasant Lake Elementary. Christina Bernard is a resource room teacher at Pleasant Lake. She's receiving the Distinguished Service Award. She has facilitated Girls on the Run for the last 2 years. She's a PLE staff member for 2 years and a teacher for 11. She is the arrival and dismissal supervisor and attends and leads many after-school activities. So congratulations to Christina. Meredith Ben is PTA board member as vice president. She's receiving a Distinguished Service Award. Meredith has been a teacher for 20 years, with the last 16 years in Novi, teaching second grade. She has been a valuable PTA board member for 2 years, creating fundraisers. She's an expert at getting donations and volunteers at every PTA event. She's the caring wife and mother of a second and fourth grader at PLE. She loves helping out at the school whenever she's not teaching. So, congratulations. Okay, next we have Walled Lake Elementary. Melissa Molesky could not be here this evening, but she's receiving a merit award. Melissa has single-handedly helped bring in volunteers wherever needed, including recruiting new board members for the next school year. She's successfully managed numerous fundraisers this year, including their Valentine Grams, cupcake sale, spirit wear, as well as their new and improved spring fair that even includes a unicorn. And she's a whole new perspective on fundraising that has already proven successful and brings the volunteers to boot. So congratulations to Melissa. Okay, next from Wixom Elementary. We have Terry Zamansky, parent volunteer. She's receiving the Michigan Honorary Life Award. Terry has run the kindergarten orientation and roundup at Wixom for the past 5 years. Terry has even offered to come back next year when she's no longer a parent in order to continue to help with the kindergarten roundup. Over the years, Terry has volunteered to organize their staff luncheons, 5th grade graduation, mom-to-mom sale, pumpkin project, and every PTA event at Wixom. Terry has been an amazing parent and volunteer at Wixom Elementary and will truly be missed as her daughter moves on to Sarah Banks next year. Congratulations. Next up, we have Krista and Carl Mazensky, parent volunteers who are receiving Michigan Honorary Life Awards. The Mazenskys have volunteered at Wixom's annual volleyball for a cause events, bingo nights, our funky fall fun walks, 5th grade pumpkin projects, and regularly volunteer at several of the other PTA events. Carl and Kristen live out of the district, yet have chosen to have their daughter attend Wixom Elementary. And even though their daughter is moving up to Sarah Banks next year, Wixom is fortunate to be getting their son as an incoming kindergartner. So, congratulations. Okay, next we have Jamie Geisler, parent volunteer who will be receiving a merit award. Jamie has been a parent volunteer at Wixom for the past 8 years. While her girls were students at Wixom, she volunteered at many of the PTA events, graduations, Halloween parties, and other classroom parties. Congratulations to Jamie. Jeremy and Ann Ralston, parent volunteers, are receiving a merit award. Jeremy and Ann have been our popcorn parents for many years. They both would come to school and spend one Friday per month in the building making popcorn for the students. They were also classroom volunteers at various grade levels at Wixom for the past 8 years. Congratulations, Ann and Jeremy. PTSA president and a well-known face in the school. He has been the CHS Book Fair chair for 3 years and has done a great job raising money for the school. Todd is reliable and does not hesitate to lend a hand whenever he can. Next up for Clifford Smart is Colleen McDowell, PTSA board member. She's receiving an honorary lifetime membership. Colleen was the VP of fundraising and managed the fall fundraiser, which raised over $9,000. Beyond entertainment books, Colleen worked to set up Hungry Howie nights and looked for other sources of extra income for the PTSA. In her non-existent free time, she organized Ski Club for CHS and Commerce. Next, we have PTSA board member Paul Rayom. Paul is receiving an honorary lifetime membership. Paul has been the PTSA treasurer for the last 2 years, and you couldn't find a more organized person for the job. He kept impeccable records and didn't miss a thing. Paul also found time to help with the 8th grade party, a highlight for our outgoing 8th graders. Congratulations, Paul. Next, we have Jillian Mutafis. I'm saying that wrong. Mutafis. I even have it written phonetically, and I still got it wrong. Sorry. She's receiving a Distinguished Service Award. Jillian started the year as our recording secretary and ended it as a superstar volunteer. She has always wanted to jump in whenever anyone needs help. She planned the dinner for staff during conference and then jumped in to organize Staff Appreciation Week. And Smart is very excited that she is their incoming PTSA president for 1920. Congratulations. Jackie Gerwin is receiving a Distinguished Service Award as a PTSA board member. Jackie has served as the membership chair for the last 2 years and helped implement online membership at CHS. She also serves as the vice president of volunteers, which means she is the sign-up genius guru and member hub master. Congratulations. Mary Austin is a parent volunteer at SMART. She's receiving a merit award. Mary stepped up to take on the Reflections program when no one else would, and she hit it out of the park. She has also joined the committee to help organize the 8th grade party. So congratulations to Mary. Next, Megan Hickey is another parent volunteer receiving a merit award. Megan is a tireless volunteer who truly works to help the kids in any way she can. She helped organize Dodgeball for Health, which was a huge hit with the kids, and served as their health and wellness chair. Megan has also helped out with the entertainment book sale fundraiser to help support PTSA initiatives around the school. All right, next we have James R. Geisler Middle School. Sarah Piggott is the fundraising chair. She is receiving a Distinguished Service Award. She's a very positive personality that adds smiles to faces daily. Her first year with GMS, she stepped in and co-chaired their biggest fundraiser. She jumped right in as the fundraiser chair for 18-19 and came up with a great fundraiser that helped the school as well as helping the community. Jeannie Appel, staff member, is receiving a merit award. She will always assist the PTA in their planning and preparation for events. She distributes flyers and other communications to the classrooms for the PTA, and she's even chaperoned at the after-school activity days. Lisa McMaster, another staff member receiving a merit award. Lisa continually goes above and beyond to help the Geisler staff and the PTA execute school events for the benefit of the students and families. Her positive attitude and laughter are infectious. Congratulations to her. Tori Yu, a PTA member and staff member, is receiving the Distinguished Service Award. Tori's service as an educator, as a great colleague, and a wonderful volunteer has been outstanding. When the Reflections Chair was away for a family emergency, he filled in for her to promote and to upload the entries to the portal. And even though he doesn't hold the titles for many of his volunteering hats, he gives 100% to whatever he's involved in. That's his personality. Congratulations. All right, next up, from Sarah Banks Middle School, we have Mark Lotta, staff member, who's receiving a Distinguished Service Award. Mr. Lotta is an interactive, creative teacher who has made learning science a lot of fun for the children. He's received a FFE grant for 3D printers, and now all Bank students benefit from his efforts. Mr. Lotta generously gives of his time by overseeing Bank Student Council and makes sure the council is a contributing part of the PTSA and the community. Robert Gutovs, staff member, is receiving a Distinguished Service Award. Mr. Gutovs is the very popular design technology teacher at Banks who challenges his students to be inventive, independent thinkers. He helps his 8th grade students set up a business where they get to sell design technology created items to the school population. Mr. Gutovs has always generously given of his time to Banks PTSA by printing decals and stickers to support their initiatives. Congratulations. All right, from Walnut Creek Middle School. First up, we have Lois Griffin, teacher who's receiving an honorary lifetime membership. She's taught at Walnut Creek for 21 years, since 1988 when it first opened. She was the Teacher of the Year at Creek and District Teacher of the Year for the 17-18 school year. She's a strong dedication to Walled Lake schools and especially to the students. Next, we have Kathy Kansman, counselor, who's also receiving a Distinguished Service Award. Kathy is the counseling department chair, the girls' 7th grade volleyball coach, and PALS co-facilitator. She runs a social skills group, organizational skills group, changed families group, academic support group, and is the staff social fund chair. Next up, we have Denise Ramirez, PTSA board member and another neighbor of mine. We volunteer in my neighborhood. She's receiving a merit award for her help with membership, spiritware, and Facebook. Next, we have Jody Gallo, PTSA board member, who is also receiving a merit award for her assistance with membership, spiritware, and she hasn't missed a meeting. All right, first up for Central, we have Matt Weber, who's WLCSD staff member, who's receiving a Distinguished Service Award. Yes. Matt stepped up when the musical producer went on an unexpected medical leave the week of opening night. He took time out of his schedule to ensure the spring break trip to Toronto could still go on, and he always goes above and beyond with any production any school has. Congratulations. Next, we have Zachary Yono, a student who's receiving an Acorn Award. He's been an active member of the CASA for 3 years. He's always searching out ways to help the club, but also the community, and he's a natural leader in all that he does. Congratulations. Next, we have Bobby Kidd, the EnviroClean employee, who's receiving a Distinguished Service Award. He's always the first one to arrive at WLC each morning. He doesn't limit his scope of work. He just does what needs to be done, typically before anyone realizes it even needs attention. He is always looking for ways to improve his practice and anticipate needs. Next, we have Geethika Bodanapu, a student who is receiving a Distinguished Service Award. Geethika is president of NHS and president of HOSA. She organized a bone marrow drive in our community for a WLC student. She has the highest number of volunteers hours at WLC. Next at Central, we have Julie Height, parent volunteer. She's receiving a merit award. She revitalized the Reflections program at Walled Lake Central. She worked with student leadership to help promote Reflections, and she worked to get donations and sponsors from local businesses and rewarded all participants. Right. Next, we have Walled Lake Northern High School. First up for Walled Lake Northern is Rosalie Harder, a parent volunteer who is receiving a Distinguished Service Award. Rosalie spent years as a PTSA board member, most recently as Vice President of Volunteers. She helped organize Staff Appreciation Week and our fundraiser concession stand. She gives 100% to anything she does and always does it with a smile on her face. Rosalie is passionate about the school, staff, and students at Walled Lake Northern and will be greatly missed. Next up for Northern receiving a merit award is my very dear friend, Amy Walker. She is a band mom extraordinaire. Amy has given countless hours to the band boosters group at Walled Lake Northern. If it's band related, she has helped with it. Amy has played a key role in organizing band camp, registration, banquet, parades, transportation. She's done it all and will be very missed. Next for Northern, we have Deputy Shannon Giffen, our police officer liaison. Deputy Giffen has done a fabulous job with the students at Walled Lake Northern. She truly makes an effort to get to know the students and make an impact on their lives. She is fair and consistent with consequences, does a great job helping the kids make tough decisions. Deputy Giffen has a friendly personality that puts people at ease while allowing us all to know that the safety of our students is her first priority. Finally, from Walled Lake Western High School. Bill Cussey is a history and government teacher. He's receiving a Distinguished Service Award this evening. Bill's been a class sponsor for the last couple of years for the seniors and is sponsoring the class of 2020 as well. He volunteers much of his own time to the kids. Bill has championed the Walled Lake Western staff membership participation for at least the last 4 years to make sure that we have 100% staff participation in PTSA. Bill helps with the prom committee and organizing this huge annual event for the kids. Additionally, he chaperones other dances, marathons, and school events. Congratulations, Bill. Right. Speaking of 100% staff, we'd like to recognize the following schools who have achieved their 100% staff membership award. Dublin, Glengarry, Keith, Mary Helen, and Pleasant Lake Elementary, Geisler Middle School, and Walled Lake Northern and Walled Lake Western High Schools. Congratulations.
Each year, the Walled Lake PTSA Council grants 3 scholarships. It's my pleasure to chair the scholarship committee. A high school senior from each of the high schools is awarded $750 in remembrance of Mrs. Irene Daniels, who was the secretary of the Walled Lake PTA Council, as well as an active PTA member at Twin Beach Elementary. This scholarship was established to encourage success at the post-secondary level. Through an application process, the committee looks for students who have demonstrated a commitment to service and scholastic involvement. Like Mrs. Daniels, these 3 seniors make the world a better place by serving others. This year's recipients were chosen because they met all of the criteria of the scholarship, including membership in PTSA. They also demonstrated the key ideals of the Irene Daniels Scholarship. They are academically capable, involved, and caring students who give back to others. Sitting on this year's selection committee were Mrs. Melissa Hildreth from Smart Middle School, Mrs. Tracy Lamy, Central High School parent, Mr. Chris Titus from the Walled Lake Board of Education, Dr. Marcy Augenstein, Keith Elementary principal, and Mrs. Christine Titus, Hickory Woods teacher. The committee congratulates all of the applicants on their dedication to students, and we congratulate those who were chosen for this honor. These students are very likely going to be PTA leaders of the future. I'd like to introduce Mr. Chuck Morgan, who is the Central Principal and will introduce his scholarship recipient.
Her counselor, Dr. Mary Jo Hecker, recommended Megan with the support of the entire counseling department. She's the daughter of Karen and Andy Coden. She has 2 sisters, Kendall and Mackenzie, and a brother, Kyle. Megan has a great intellect and truly enjoys math and science. She's an AP scholar with distinction, taking 11 AP courses, earning A's in every class. and 5 on each of her exams. Her GPA is currently a 4.405. This is prior to the calculation of her 5 additional AP grades this semester. Megan is a finalist for the United States Presidential Scholars Program and one of our 4 graduating Walled Lake seniors who was awarded the National Merit Finalist, which puts her in the top 1% of students in the country. She's earned a perfect ACT composite score of 36. She's applied to Northwestern, the University of Michigan, the University of Chicago, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and Kalamazoo College. The winner of the Megan Coden lottery is the University of Michigan. Where she will attend next fall. She plans to study chemistry. Megan was also the captain of our unified gymnastics team. Individually, she earned academic All-State and academic All-American honors. She has founded the Kids Helping Kids Club, and she is a 2-year member of National Honor Society. She plays the violin in our orchestra, loves to read, and enjoys speaking Spanish with her friends who live in Spain. I often talk about Walled Lake Schools as a family and the history and dedication of our students' academic excellence and commitment to Walled Lake. Megan is a shining example of these attributes. It is my honor and privilege to present Megan Coden as the Walled Lake Central Irene Daniels Scholarship recipient.
Hannah is a wonderful, caring individual who has a wonderful smile that brightens up a room. She's part of our very competitive varsity softball team and part of the National Honor Society, where she is the chair of our SNAP and PALS program. While she's not studying and playing softball, Hannah helps tutor students in her neighborhood who have learning disabilities. For the past 2 years, Hannah has worked with our students in the ASD program. Mrs. Wagner, one of the teachers in the program, told me that Hannah's compassion, dedication, and ability to work with our autistic population is an inspiration to her. She confided in me, though, that she's not sure what's going to happen next year without having you in one of those classes, and she's really worried about that. Hannah will be attending Grand Valley State University, majoring in exercise science, and then moving on to occupational therapy. Hannah will be greatly missed at Walled Lake Northern, but like Mrs. Irene Daniels, she has left a legacy of caring for students who need some extra loving care. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Ms. Hannah Erdman, Northern's Irene Daniels Scholarship winner.
In the time that I've known Carly, I've learned that she's a kind, warm, dedicated, and mature young lady beyond her years. Carly is greatly respected by her peers and staff alike. In addition to Carly being an outstanding, strong-minded student, she is dedicated and determined to enriching the lives of students, staff, and community members surrounding her. Indeed, a selfless individual. Carly's presence at Western plays an integral part in our learning community as she positively impacts those around her. Carly's scholar and integrity led her induction into the National Honor Society. And as a member of NHS, Carly volunteered at a variety of different school events and has offered her time and talents to support her local community. Because of her genuine heart, Carly truly finds enjoyment serving others in a variety of roles, including as a member of our student council. As a leader through student council, Carly volunteered her time with an assortment of philanthropic activities and worked collaboratively with others to plan countless school events. From time to time, Carly likes taking risks. Even though it pushed her out of her comfort zone, Carly challenged herself by joining the ski team. Though her experience on the ski team led to continued ankle injuries, Carly continued demonstrating support for her teammates and their commitment to her sport. Carly's maturity, dedication, altruism will serve her one day as she decides to engage and be part of the global economy where she will work with people from all corners of the globe. Outside of school, Carly continues to build her community. She often babysits for young children, demonstrating her patience and trustworthiness. Currently, Carly works as a building attendant at the Novi, for the city of Novi, where she works with people of all ages and helps with an assortment of tasks. Carly also spends a great deal of time building into the lives of her peers through her youth group at church. It is evident that Carly is a young lady with impeccable time management skills, impressive character, a kind heart, and a remarkable follow-through. Recently, Carly made an appointment with me and shared her thoughts on some things that pertain to Western. I am happy to say that I will take her advice and her recommendations. And she knows what I mean when I say that. There's a saying that states that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Carly attributes her way of life as she observes her mother, as she has observed her mother join PTSA and engaging in school functions, as she may one day do the same. Next year, Carly will be attending Michigan State University. Congratulations.
Foundation for Excellence and PTSA have missions that work hand in hand. Both organizations spend their time doing whatever they can to help support our students, staff, and community. So it only makes sense that we work together. And working with Michelle is a pleasure. When you talk about someone who has a passion for what they're doing, Michelle epitomizes that. As you probably saw earlier tonight, she is energetic and excited about what she does, and our schools are lucky to be the beneficiaries of her work. Thank you, Michelle, for being such a strong supporter of our staff and our community as a whole. What you do every day truly does make a difference, and we are so honored that you spend those days helping out Walled Lake schools. Thank you. Melissa has been our council treasurer for the past 2 years. Sure, at the council level, treasurer job is not all that overwhelming, but Melissa has become so much more than that. She has sat through countless audits with various school PTAs and answered question after question after question from schools and myself about how PTA financials are supposed to be handled. Beyond that, Melissa has shown up to every event we've had to help set up. She's always helping in the background in some way or another, and frequently is the voice of reason on our board. While we're sad that she's leaving council, I am thrilled to say that I have managed to rope her into a volunteer job at Walled Lake Northern, so we can still use her talents until her son graduates next year. Thank you, Melissa, for all the time you've given us these past couple of years. You will be missed around here. And Jen Ludwig is also leaving our board this year, but will certainly keep herself busy as the new PTSA president at Walled Lake Western. They are lucky to have you. Jen has had the role of vice president on council for the last 3 years and recently added bond committee chair to her resume. Jen spent a great deal of time and energy organizing the bond committee members to make sure we were all maximizing our exposure while trying not to overwhelm anyone with much more work. As a parent of children at Walled Lake Western, Jen was not going to see this bond fail. She was a force to be reckoned with on social media and didn't back down to the naysayers no matter what was thrown at her. Without Jen as a fierce ally, I'm not sure we would have seen the results we did on the bond vote. Jen is an amazing person who steps up whenever she is needed and continues to prove how much this district means to her. Thank you, Jen, for always being there for our council and for our community as a whole.
So most people in the Keith community know Tony as the invisible dad. While certainly there's nothing invisible about his presence at our school daily, it is Tony's humble approach to supporting all students that continually impresses me the most. 3 years ago, as a new principal at Keith Elementary School, I had the pleasure of meeting Tony to discuss an Invisible Dad lunch program at our school. While I was certainly on board with this idea, at the time I had no inspirational how inspirational your story is, how positive and true your heart is for all of our students, and how your message would become a part of our parent mission at Keith. Tony explained that as a child, he had unfortunately understood hunger. While many of us in this room cannot comprehend what hunger must feel like, let alone feel like for a child, we can certainly appreciate that there is something we can do about it, and Tony would say that we must do it for all of our children, not just our own children. Tony talked with me and several local journalists about his profound need to fix this adult problem. And so we began an Invisible Dad Lunch program that is really quite simple and something that we can all do. Tony shared his own experiences about the times when he felt different when he was growing up. One of those times was when he was at school getting lunch, and the meal he was served was different than that of the other students because he didn't have enough money in his lunch account balance and was served cheese and crackers. When Tony learned that this practice is still true in schools today, he knew he had to effect change. So Tony started an Invisible Dad Lunch program where he stands invisibly in line with students and pays for their meals when they do not have enough money in their lunch accounts. Tony has donated hundreds, if not thousands, to this program, but his gift is inspiring others to support this program and make this mission sustainable throughout all of our schools in Walled Lake. The first time Tony mentioned this to me, I was sure he meant for this to help students who had a true need. I even used myself as an example. As a working mom, there have been times in my own life where, just like all of you, probably get the automated Walled Lake Schools food service account calling because your balance is too low. I know I've done it myself, and my own children have had to eat cheese and crackers too because in my haste I forget to put money in the account. But Tony humbly noted, it was not my son's problem. It was my problem that I forgot, yet he was the one having to suffer. And so, to be honest, let's be honest with all of us, we all forget at times. So if we can help out by making a small donation to supporting our own kids' schools with their Invisible Dad Lunch programs, what a difference we could all make. No child would go hungry, no child would be made to feel different, and all because Tony Casanova had a vision and a mission in his heart for our children. I believe these experiences and contributions to our school and community have proven that Tony Casanova is determined to make a difference in our world, and I believe Tony's actions speak volumes, and it's my honor to recognize Tony this evening. Thank you.
This person has a selfie stick as his third arm. He's captured the hearts of thousands of kids over the past 16 years in Walled Lake Consolidated School District. First, as a vocational and business teacher at Walled Lake Northern, then as an interim co-principal at Walled Lake Central, and for the past 9 years as principal at Walled Lake Central. He is Mr. Walled Lake Central. He's the face, even if you only see half of it in most of his selfies. There's photos of him year after year leading the homecoming parade, honoring students for everything from athletics to performing arts, scholarships, and so much more. Even a photo of him last week holding Neb Stojkovic's new 1-month-old baby, Milo. He'll do anything for a selfie. Speaking of performing arts, he's been the king in many of the biannual Viking feasts. He's had bit parts in almost every play since he's been a principal at Walled Lake Central. But Chuck Morgan doesn't just play. He cares about kids, wants them to achieve, and most importantly, he wants them to love school, to love learning, and to have fun while they're in high school. A lot of fun takes place with the selfies, of course, but this is Chuck Morgan's way of building relationships, intentional communication, and sharing the accomplishments and achievements of both students and staff. He's so proud of his students, his staff, and his school community. He shows that by his attendance at football games, basketball games, plays, concerts, National Honor Society fundraisers, and the list is endless. I think he lives there, I think he has a bed there, and it folds up somewhere in the wall. He lives the old adage, actions speak louder than words. He's proud of his own family, too. His son, Elliot, just graduated from Grand Valley. And I think Elliot might be here, Chuck. He's proud of his family and his own children, especially Zachary, who's a med student at MSU. He's proud of his family and his own children, even Maggie, especially Maggie, who's a New York City aspiring actress. I'm pleased to honor Chuck Morgan as the Walled Lake Schools PTSA Council Administrator of the Year. But before I do this, everyone has to join in. And on the count of 3, give a huge Go Vikings, okay? 1, 2, 3. Go Vikings!
It'll be tweeted in a minute. So I was totally surprised until I opened up the program, and of course, I couldn't come up here and say nothing. So I wrote something while I was sitting there. Ken told me a couple weeks ago when he visited the building, he gave me a compliment, and I immediately started talking about the entire building. And he said, "Stop, take the compliment." So before I go on, thank you. Thank you all. There's serendipity in life. You know, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I looked at the list, and there's 30 years of employees that have gained this honor. And the sad but true but happy piece of that is I know or personally have worked with 26 of the 30 people on that list, and it's an honor to be included with them. You can't do this job alone. You know, the group that I've worked with in the building includes Mr. Eric Henderson, Dennis Wazinski, Greg Riley, Julie Amon, Joe Bell, Mike Frey, Michelle Calhorn, and Jen McKittrick. The last three, who I'm proud to say are principals of their own buildings. That whole adage, surround yourself with greatness, that's what I've been able to do in my career. My own colleagues, we have vast experience. The cabal started a few years ago. I've learned is a secret society. We just met as a group of small administrators to talk about education, and it's really expanded my knowledge, and I appreciate that very much. Vast experience of all our colleagues in the district. Anytime you ask anybody to help you or to do anything, they're there, elementary, middle school, high school. Particularly my colleagues, Mr. Greg Diamond, who I consider a friend over the past 12 years, and then Mr. Ali Hamka, who's joined us this year. I look forward to the work that we do together. To our cabinet, thank you for setting the bar high and expecting the best. My growth wouldn't have been possible without you. And finally, to students in our community, thank you for the honor of being able to serve you as the principal. I'm humbled, I'm humbled that you allow me to touch the future through your child's education. Thank you.
It is my honor this evening to give the Lifetime Member Award to someone who spent the last 11 years on the Walled Lake Schools Board of Education. I'd like to invite to come forward in a very uncomfortable place, Mrs. Kathy Lyle. Mrs. Lyle spent 3 years as our board president, and she served on several board subcommittees, including board policy, superintendent evaluation, and of course, Lakes Area Youth Assistance. It has been a sincere honor to work with Kathy. She has a collaborative approach to the challenges facing public education. She lives and breathes our philosophy of every child, every day. She's grounded, she's innovative, she's focused on what's important for our students, our staff, and our community. Her support for Walled Lake Schools is immense, and I'm grateful for her service, her commitment, and the way she'll let you know what she's thinking very directly. As a district, we're indebted to Kathy for her dedication and commitment for more than 15 years. We appreciated her insightful feedback at board meetings and the manner in which she made her decisions, always asking what is best for all children. She devoted 15 years of her energies and an inordinate amount of time to furthering the mission of the Walled Lake Schools. She began volunteering with the Loon Lake PTA, where she served as a legislative representative and PTA president. During this time, she was extremely involved, advocating in Lansing on behalf of public school funding, and working to change local zoning to ensure Walled Lake students' safety while waiting for school buses. She actively supported PTSA efforts at Sarah Banks Middle School and the Walled Lake Central Band Program as her 2 children attended and graduated from Walled Lake Central High School. Kathy, you have served this community with class and professionalism, with child-centered passion. You are absolutely deserving of this PTSA Council Lifetime Member Award. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for this special award, especially coming from this group of individuals. You know, it's been my honor and privilege to serve this district in a number of different capacities. I think sometimes we often overlook how special Walled Lake actually is. It's not every district that's blessed with an army of